Okay, here we go. Stanley Parable. I actually used my super strats and actually loaded the game before I started this, so that it would load faster. Damn.
Stanley worked.
I also need subtitles. Okay, I accidentally skipped the beginning, but he just said like Stanley, it's this guy.
Couldn't handle the pressure.
I'm in here,
to make a decision.
and I'm
What if
bored.
a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No, this couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh shit. Well, loading screen, here we go. Stuff is about to happen, guys. It's officially gonna go down right now. It's happening.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
It's happening, guys.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's happening. Oh shit, there's stuff down there. Looks like Pokemon almost. But it's not. Whoa, shit. Look at that speedrunning tech. I went through the door before it closed. Oh, damn.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, look at this.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, but eager to get back to business. Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's me, Stanley.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not
YOLO.
sure. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job.
It's all planned.
Everyone thinks
This
you are
trick.
very powerful.
For more speed. It's just a trick. Ah. Because that jumping off there actually sets a trigger for later on, and with that trigger I can skip something. Split for that. Man, look at that. That was my split for setting the trigger.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
I can't read it, I have to move. I can't stop.
Decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, I didn't. You can't tell me what to do. Because actually it's faster if you go down here. It saves more time.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Running in circles. Running a circus.
He was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe.
No, I didn't. Aha.
Maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a.
Oh, I can't open
no
doors.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Doesn't open back up, damn.
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No.
It's all tricks, guys.
This is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. This is all a dream.
I'm dreaming.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Woo.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield. And it appeared it was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words...
Okay, this trick is almost done, okay?
He knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
I can't move!
The weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope, didn't work. I think I must have missed a trigger somewhere.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything.
Part of the plan.
Back. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
That's good, by the way.
Up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down.
Oh, I just realized something.
And then she turned and ran.
Sorry, guys. I forgot that this actually makes the game faster. It happens, right? Ah. Okay, so this speed run is a bit special because I'm gonna try and get like all the endings. That's the only way to beat this game actually. So this is like some any percent all endings. There's also any percent no ending where you just start the game and close it again.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
And there's also like 100% where you try and pick up every item along the game and get every Steam achievement. Which also means that if you have all the Steam achievements, you need like a new Steam account so you can like get the Steam achievements again, of course.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions.
And this being like 80% all endings, I have to go through all the endings. I got 2 of them already, which is like death and like going down there. So so these splits for these 2 were like really good splits for that.
The story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your
Oh
life.
shit. This is another ending? Maybe not.
That's her, Stanley.
Oh, I actually did what the guy said. Well, of course, this is plan. Because I need to do that actually to get another ending.
Is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh, hi.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a
I
life?
cannot crouch. I
I
can't
want to commit
crouch.
their life to you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I also can't jump, so I
This is
can't
a
actually
very
get over
sad
there.
Story about the death of a man named Stanley.
I can't actually press B on my gamepad because of my splits. Also, I don't have a gamepad. I have a keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
I just did something.
Now he's pushing a button. Now
Oops, that's start.
he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work.
So,
One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's
got any
chosen
plans for
his
tonight?
life.
Left tree, no left button, which is the one?
But in his mind,
That's the one. I don't know which one it
in
was,
his
but I just
mind,
pressed
he
it.
can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
That's weird.
Fantastic discoveries of new
Okay.
lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it
I
would
think I can
ever
do that now
happen
for
again.
splits. Okay, okay. Press A to which T, which is A.
And so
It's
he began
A.
to fantasize about his own job. First,
We
he
can't
imagined
watch
that one
TV.
day
I
while
can't
at
even
work,
get out of
he
this
stepped up
room
from
because I
his
can't
desk
jump.
To realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Okay, which is LT? Let's try and find it. Oh, let's start. That's not LT. Where's LT? Oh, what the fuck did I just do? Eh? Help me! I just closed the game. It's all planned. It actually like if you stop the game there, it like counts as an ending, but you don't actually have to watch the ending, so it's faster in the long run if you just do that. So now I have 3 endings, which means I need some more endings. Yeah, and I'm gonna get more endings now by going to boss next, which is faster. Because if you go to boss now and then do the other stuff later, you're gonna set a trigger, and that trigger later on makes the text speed up by 1%, which of course saves time, about half a second in the entire speedrun, and 2 frames as well. I do have to watch this one again. Maybe I don't. Lol. I'm gonna try this. This is like on the fly strat making, guys. Like, I have all these strats, but I didn't actually think of that strat. Oh, look at that. Look at how great the strat is. I just skipped that all.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I knew that
Perhaps
already,
simply
but
missed a memo.
I just enhanced that a bit by skipping the very first
Stanley
thing there,
came to a set of 2 open
which
doors. He entered the
I
door
didn't actually know
and
before, like us speedrunners, but we know it now, so we can use it for further runs, and I might even get a new world record in this one as well. Which fits very good right now, so I probably will get a new world record.
To go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's not my boss, I knew that. This looks
Stepping
familiar.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Oh, shit.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
Oh.
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the
Of course, if you if you speed on this game, you know the code already, so you don't have to actually wait for the guy to tell you the code. It makes the game faster, of course, because for this one ending you have the code already, which is good. Of course, this is like my first speedrun of the day, so all the loading screens are still long. When I do this a second time, the loading screen will be quicker.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So if you crouch there, you save like a few frames, which is good for the overall speedrun, of course.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So that's another ending over there, but we're gonna get that later. In this 80% all endings, of course.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible
Cerebrum.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Of course, some simple speedrun strats there is just walk through the door as it opens, of course. It saves a bunch of frames.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them,
We're gonna hit some speedrun
determined
strats
to
there.
in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Looking up there makes the elevator go up faster,
But here was the
because
proof.
you add more
Heart of
momentum to the elevator.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Bonk. That's yet another ending. It's not completely done yet though. Problem is I can't see.
And a rising chill of uncertainty.
Gonna split soon. This next split is gonna be really good.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Looking down actually reduces the lag. So if you look up there's tons of lag. So if you look down, less lag and of course saves time.
Puzzle still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
So we like walk backwards here. And that gives you like best times.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool
That's not ending split.
skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay. Just beat the game, but of course that's like the any percent route, but this being an any percent all endings, I need to continue of course.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, next ending coming up. You have to like circle strafe around this corner. Like this, you look at the corner and the circle strafe around it, which saves a bunch of time.
Walked straight ahead to the opposite door and got back on track.
Now this actually gets you back to the same ending, so you want to like not do that. First you can walk through that ending if you haven't gotten that ending yet. You can walk through that door and then get that ending, of course, which saves time depending on your route. So you need to keep that in mind for routing.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
It's gonna be this door, it's gonna be this door.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
She's rustling chimneys right now.
No,
Welcome to video 15.
Right, left.
You've come to a very good time, because I'm just about to get a new world record in this game.
Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh, I missed the crouch there to save 2 more frames.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
So of course if you look away you you improve the frame rate, which reduces lag and you get more frames of course, which saves time after all.
How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay, my any percent all endings is almost done. There's another split for that ending. Only a bunch more endings left.
What could it mean?
So next up what we need to do is we're gonna
simply missed a memo.
go left, I think. I think we're gonna go right and then
Wait. No,
Oh, I forgot I actually set the trigger when I died at the beginning. Like at the very beginning of the game I died, and that sets a trigger for this point, of course.
Stanley, did you
Which
change
in the
it
route,
when we were playing
it changes the
room
route a
or
little bit,
monitors?
but
Did you
this route is a
move
bit
the
faster.
story somewhere or hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
So of course this is all different now. Oh, that's wasted a bunch of frames bumping into that. Don't want to go in there, that's another ending that I've already been to. So now I pretty much have free reign over which ending I need to go for next. I don't want to go for that ending, because I think I already have that one.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay, so by not going into that other ending that I've already been to, I reset the game again.
All of his
Gives me
co-workers
more
were
options.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
It's a very special ending, this one. Takes a lot of time. So I might do another route where I just get this one earlier.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay, that's another ending.
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Whoops.
Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people
Sadly, I
were
can't
fair
speed
and
this up.
square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right,
Okay.
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Okay, we're getting closer to this ending.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey
Can skip that room,
such
of course.
that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right
Skip
now
going over there
is
as
a bit
well.
of music to lighten the mood. Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Okay.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
So this fern is different every time you play the game. So even in a speedrun where I've played this game like a bunch of times, I still need to look at the fern and memorize it because it's different.
We're back at the office? No. Line, You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
It's
We're
played
intelligent
smooth
people,
music
right?
for us.
Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds
I want to be
perfectly
Indiana
doable.
Jones,
Why don't
please.
we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm
Oh,
ready
I
for
almost
it.
broke it there. If you move too fast, you break the trigger, so I need to slow down at some points.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
And it's gone.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere the place where we're trying to
Need to follow the circle very closely, or else it won't trigger.
Reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this?
Aww.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
There's also this in-game timer here,
So
which
now,
helps.
according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
One of my favorite endings, this one.
Whatever it is that made this schedule, how would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Well. That was weird. That wasn't me, that was the game, actually. I'm sorry.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, that's split, by the way. There's only one split missing, and I'm on a really good path
When
here.
Stanley came to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna see what else ending
But
I
eager to
still
get
need.
back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize
The next enemy is gonna try and land on this this pathway here, this catwalk. And we're gonna use that to continue.
All this time.
But we need to be careful, or else it kills us.
Neglecting Stanley. Someone you forgot.
Okay, it didn't kill us. That's good, because sometimes it kills you, and you lose a bunch of time, of course.
Consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen?
This is also a very interesting ending, this one.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Oscar would have been great, though. Like, increased walking speed.
So far.
And better ducking. And jumping, that would be a good skill to have.
Dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version.
Super great.
Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
No.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Look at that. Well, my leaderboard. I hope I'm first. I probably am first. Oh, it's not even me. Oh. Well, these guys are all hackers. Look at their times. Of course I don't hack. Because, I play for real. Take a look. Oh, that time was not even right. Fucking game.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Now I have the correct sequence of triggers set for this trick that's coming up.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
So with all these triggers set up, if I do this,
You heartless
I
bastard.
can do a trick.
Did you do it because you hate
It skips me
babies
to the
or
ending.
Purely to spite me. Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough?
It'd be alright if I could jump.
Will it ever
Please,
be
narrator,
enough?
could I
Well, I'll
jump?
say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course.
You need a bathroom
Finish it
on that
all off.
roof.
Yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Okay. Only if you let me jump. Can't go around there.
Oh my.
Yay, hope
It
we
looks
don't
like
find
it's gonna
creeper
get a
or
bit
something.
dark. Have you brought a light?
Could have brought a light for me, Mr. Narrator.
Oh, no,
We're not a good team, are we?
This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Once again, if I play this game multiple times, the loading times are gonna go down. So the next runs will have like a lot better time, of course.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell
Broke it.
this is.
Oh, it opened there. It's glass, I didn't know. But of course, waiting in there for a little bit longer sets the trigger up for this.
Ooh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through it.
Okay, here we go. The path you have to take here changes every single time, so I actually need to look around for what the path could be. Same goes for this area, of course. Something you can also do here is you can improve the brightness, the contrast, and that will, of course, make this area easier to navigate. But if you're really good, you don't really need that. Also need to find a hidden button here. But sometimes it's not even in this room, so you have to go somewhere else and find it there.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
So, now that I've done that, there's only one more ending left for ending percent. Like any ending percent, you can also make it shorter to Anyding percent.
All of his co-workers were gone.
So there's like tons of little endings you can also get, but I'm only doing the major endings, you know. So if I would be running a different category, I would go on after the next ending, of course. But that's not what I want to do right now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted
I
to
need to
stop
look
by
at
the
something really
employee
quickly as
lounge
well.
first, just
Okay, it was nothing. Just making sure.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up
So I'm gonna go to the boss's office, but I'm gonna do stuff differently this time.
Upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 28. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Yep.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Yeah. Plays every on the piano as well.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
So this time I'm gonna take the exit after I'm down there. Which is the last ending you need for ending percent. Maybe I should have wrote somewhere that this is actually ending percent. It'd probably have helped.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
It's kind of sad, don't you think?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh, that's kind of sad, isn't it? Need to check something again. Okay. Woo! This reminds me of Portal.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Aww. So sad. And I can't even return.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Because I can't jump.
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Aww. It was so cute.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
Look, there's a map
life
here.
The same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, I got the credits here. So this, like, this shows that this is like the last ending, of course, the last major ending that you need for ending percent, of course. Yeah, that's also an internal timer for the ending, so you can just go around and look at everything, and it won't actually slow you down. Oh, you can look at this as well. It shows you about stuff. And this is then where they go to the ending.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Plonk.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Lol. I'm actually gonna do it, lol. Because this is actually like the final ending for ending percent. And if I chose this route because if you have this route, then this ending is gonna be the last one. And having this as the last one is pretty effectful ending for the speedrun, if I do say so myself. Like there's more endings to this game and more stuff to explore, but this is everything that you do in any percent, all endings, all major endings, I mean. You also don't use a bunch of glitches. Like there's a bunch of glitches that skip a whole bunch of stuff, but they're tool assisted only. You can skip the whole thing with the walking along the line by clipping out of bounds at the very beginning and skipping to the end of the line. But it only works if the line is in a special phase, which you have to set a trigger first to have the line in that phase, which wastes a bunch of frames to get that. But if you get the clip later on, which is only TAS, then it of course saves a bunch more time. So that was the Stanley Parable, 80% all the major endings. I hope you enjoyed that. It's world record. Hope see you next time.